Hello my bunnies, it's Ticky's Trinkets here, and today I have for y'all another polymer clay tutorial. Today we are going to be making, I'm going to butcher the name of this, Floogull. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, like a seagull and a flute. Maybe that's what the monster's based off of. Not made off of, based off of. Anyways, I'm pretty happy with how he came out. I did miss a spot I should have cleaned off on his back, which is like an itty bitty little spot of clay just got like bumped on him. But everything else I'm really happy with. Oh, and I wish I would have made him a little bit taller, because the character in the game's like got a really long body, and then the arms aren't so close together. But other than that, I just think he came out absolutely adorable, just like all my other My Singing the Monster sculptures I've done so far. The claws are definitely my favorite part. I love doing claws because they look so good, but they're so time consuming. Alright, now I'm going to go on a little rant real quick. If you don't want to listen to me talk, I'll put a timestamp down below because this is going to go on for a minute. First off, I got a new haircut, as you can see. I want to dye my bangs, just my bangs, blue in the future. So hopefully that'll be coming very soon. I may or may not record it, just depends on how my camera and Movie Maker wants to work. Speaking of that, Movie Maker, I know I told y'all last week that I was having issues with video editing and uploading, and it was because my laptop actually updated the Windows 10 that it had on there. It was a newer version of Windows 10, and I guess maybe it uploaded or installed incorrectly. Like something must have happened, like maybe it shut off or went to sleep mode while it was updating, but it messed it up something bad. All my videos wouldn't just play on Movie Maker, they also would not play on my laptop. Every video I uploaded to my laptop said it was corrupted. Even though on my phone and on my Google Photo backup drive, everything was playing and working fine. I think everything is fixed now. I uninstalled it and re-updated it, and it seems like everything's working. But we shall see if this video goes up Friday night as planned, whether or not that actually is true. Other than that, next week, I should be making, I think, it's another Conkers video next week, I think. The Squirrel Soldier, Squirrely. I can't remember his name, or their names, because there's, I think, more than one squirrel in Conkers. Just like with Teddy. There's more than one Teddy in Conkers. But anyways, yeah, that should be going up next week. I also do art for the fair every year, so hopefully coming up soon, you're going to have some bonus videos of me doing a little bit of painting and crafting for that. So, look forward to that, y'all. Okay, so I talked about Movie Maker, I talked about the haircut, I talked about the paintings, and next week. I believe that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you guys there. Bye-bye, my bunnies. Alright, for this tutorial, you're going to need tan, leaf green, zinc yellow, and red Sculpey 3. I usually mostly use Sculpey 3, but Primo does get some different colors, so that's why I go back and forth. First, we're going to start with the leaf green, or if you can't find leaf green, just use a dark colored green. There's a jungle green and one other kind of green. First, I pre-rolled all the balls I'd need, and we're going to start with the largest one, which is going to be the torso, which here, I start off making it really big, like 2 inches, but then off camera I kind of cut it down and make it even shorter. Stay at about 2 inches. That way he really looks like the size he should be. Then I just flatten him on the bottom by pressing him against the work surface. Then I just cut off way too much and made him too tiny. But again, learn from my mistakes. Then I stuck a toothpick in him for stability. Next we're going to go on to the head. This is going to be a little different than I usually do. So instead of rolling it to the ovally shape, we're going to roll it into a pointed shape like this. Just roll it back and forth between the palm of your hands until you get a pointed, rounded shape like this. And then just cut off the point so that it'll be flat. But make sure it's not too narrow or too wide at the end. It should look something like this. Next we're going to go on to his legs. That's going to be these 2 balls right here in the front. And this is just a side view of the head so you can see it better as well. Now we're going on to the legs. All out of order, right? Just roll these into teardrop shapes like we usually do. Then take them and use your finger and thumb and press them together press them upward to make it look like feet, or put it against your work surface and press downward to make it look like feet. Then use your whatever kind of cutting tool you have actually, cut 2 triangles in each foot so that it looks like toes, pointed toes. And then cut the tops off at a bias, and then those little flat parts, just stick them onto the back of the body. Make sure they fit appropriately and they're not too long or short. Also, don't glue them yet. It'll be easier to take them off to do the fur texture. Then for the arms, I rolled out all 4 of those balls in the teardrop shape, and then one by one go through and press just the tip of them so that the tips will be flat to represent the hands. Once you get done, it should look something like this. Then after that, I just cut off all the tops, similar to like we did with the legs, so they'd be cut at a bias. And then I also bent them at an angle because they kind of look bent on the character itself, so yeah, that's what I did. Next we're going on to the tan color clay, and I pre-rolled all the balls that I'd need for the little horns on the top, the mouth, and the stomach piece. First we're going to start with his stomach piece, his fur. Roll out a small ball, it's about a 1/2 inch in size, into a teardrop shape that's about 1 inch long. Then press it down with the palm of your hand, and it should be round on the top and flat on the bottom. If it needs to be a little flatter around the edges, just push it down with your finger. I kind of do that right here. As you can see, it looks a little flatter now. Just use the fingertip and just go around the edges. Then cut off the top and make it flat, and stick it on the body. And just try to line it up as best as possible. Then I took the legs back off because, like I said, it's easier to do this part without the legs on. And I took my little rubber tool and indented fur texture. I'm going to go in later and use my X-Acto blade too. But for now, use your X-Acto blade to texture the legs as well. You can go ahead and do both of these at once. Just make sure you don't mix the green in with your tan by accident. Then I reattach the legs, and I think that's the only time I need to No, don't completely attach them yet. It'll be easier to do the toes. Next, I textured all 4 of the arms. Don't go all the way up because his fur does not go all the way up his arms. Next, we're going to make his little mouth horn thing. This small ball that's also about a 1/2 inch, rolled it into an inch-long teardrop shape with a very blurry photo. Then the rounded part right there, just stick a large ball tool into the top so it looks more like a trumpet. And then I went on ahead and put a metal wire inside the head for stability. Make sure you don't hit the toothpick or it'll just kind of come out. Then just go ahead and stick that on there. And if it's not flat enough on the back where the pointed part was, just cut it flatter. Next, I took that same large dotting tool and indented 2 dots for the eye sockets. Excuse me. Nose is like crazy running. And then it's going to look just like that once you do the eyes. Next, I took some little metal eye pins that I had left over because I tried to recycle everything and stuck them into the head to support the horns. Now we're going to go on to these 3 balls. They are all going to be the horns. I made them in descending size or ascending size, depends on which way you're looking at this picture. And then use your small dotting tool to indent holes in all of these. Again, cut off the bottoms if you need to make them flatter on the bottom. And then I put them on the head from the smallest to the largest, but they kind of all look the same size now. It's fine. Next, we're going to go on to the zinc yellow. And you're going to pre-roll the balls, which is just 2 for the eyes. Very simple. About a 1/2 inch in size, just kind of stick them in the holes. Voila, perfect. Very easy, right? And we're going to do the eyelids and irises with paint later, so make sure you have blue or purple paint on handy and black and white paint. Now we're going on to the red, which we pre-rolled all the balls we would need for the claws and for the feet. For each individual hand, use your pointed tool and indent 3 holes into the fingertips so that you can stick each little piece of clay into the finger holes. Just roll them into these 2-sided pointed shapes and just stick them in. Once you get done with all of them, it should look just like this. Next, go ahead and go on to the feet. We're going to use the 2 red balls that I had over here. And this is fairly easy because the bottom of his feet are red too, so just take them and flatten them out with your X-Acto blade. It's like the perfect size to make a flat circle. Then you're just going to stick them onto the bottom of the feet. and then just cut out the toes. This would be easier to detach the legs if you haven't already glued them like I had. And then just cut out the little tootsies. Pretty easy, right? Then I went on ahead and started attaching the arms. You can use glue here if you need to. Attach the bottom ones first, and then attach the ones on the top. It's a little bit easier that way. And pose them however you like to. That's up to you. Lastly, I took a rubber tool and indented the nostrils that he has on the front of his beak face thing. Then I baked him for 350 degrees at 12 minutes in a gas oven, or 9 minutes at 350 degrees in an electric oven. Next, you're going to take a pencil after he's cooled off and completely dry, and pre-draw the eyes and eyelids on his little eyeballs. Then you'll need a very small paintbrush and a dotting tool and some kind of purpley blue color paint. I know this isn't exactly the right color, but it's close enough. So then I painted on his eyelids all the way around and dotted on the pupils. Next, I went ahead and got green color and painted the base green, because I've just painted all the My Singing Monster bases green, so I'm just going to keep that consistent. And then I made an oopsie and went on ahead and glazed it first, but you need to wait for that paint to dry, and you need to dot on the irises and the glistening light in the eyes, which is what I did here. It's fine, you could just reglaze it after you dot on the eyes, it's no problem. Just use a small dotting tool and a slightly larger one, and voila, that's what he looks like. Once he's completely dry, he looks so much better. And we're done. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing y'all next week. Bye-bye, my bunnies.